Hello student, this is Ubed Khan and today I am going to teach you one of the topic from the science. Okay student, so before come to the topic of my today's lecture, I want to ask you some questions. Okay student, so first of all tell me what are the living beings or living organism you will observe in your around. Yes, plants, animals, in animals, human beings, ourselves also, your friend, your relatives, we all are the animals. So in our surroundings, there are so many living organisms are there like a plant and animals. Okay. So can you tell me what are the things are present inside the animals which are doing the function, which is responsible for the daily our systems to performing the breathing like I am telling, to performing some other functions? Yes, there are organs. Organs are present inside the living beings which are responsible to perform a specific functions, right? We can take the example of the human heart. The heart is responsible for contraction, relaxation. It is pumping the blood and the blood is moving all around the body. Okay, or you can take the example of the lungs. Lungs is responsible to taking the oxygen and releasing the carbon dioxide. So that is helpful in the respiration, that is called the breathing. So there are different organs are present inside the living organisms. Okay, can you tell me what are the smallest substances which are helping to form the organs? Yes. The smallest substances which are responsible to form the organs is a cell. Very good. So, today's topic of my lecture is cell. Okay? So, today we are going to discuss about the cell in detail. So, let's see the topic name. Okay student, so this is the name of our today's topic is cell. Okay, so what is cell? First of all we will discuss about the definition of the cell, okay, and why it is a very important part of our body. Okay, so student, first of all just we will discuss the definition, okay, which is mean by the cell. So basically all the living organisms, they are composed by a smallest unit, and that is cell, and cell is a basic structural and functional unit of all the living organism. So what is cell? So we can be write down in the definition. What is cell? Cell is a basic functional and structural unit of all living organisms. Okay, so this is the, we can be say this is the definition for the cell. What is cell? It is a basic structural and functional unit of all the living organisms. Like all the living organisms, they are made by the cell, and cell is the smallest unit, smallest quantity in our body or in any living organism. Either it is having a plant, or it is having the animals, or it is having a microorganism. So whatever the living organisms are found in around us, they all are made by the cell. This is the smallest unit of the living organism. Okay student, now let's talk about the history or discovery of the cell. So who was discovered the cell? So let's talk about that first. Discovery. Who have discovered the cell very first? Okay student, so we are talking about the discovery of the cell. So the name of the scientist is Robert Hooke, who was very first discovered the cell. So the name of the scientist is Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke. This was the scientist who was discovered the cell in 1665. Okay, so this year in which the Robert Hooke who was discovered the cell very first, from where it was discovered, it has discovered from the cork of the plant. What is cork of a plant? Cork is a part of the plant which is present in the stem. It is present in a bark of a tree, which is a hard substance, supportive tissue actually bark is having, and it is having the dead cell. So he was taken a very thin slice from the cork. Okay, it has taken the thin slice from the from bark of tissue, that is called the cork. So what is cork student? Cork is a part of the stem, that is called the bark of a tree, and he has taken very fine thin slice from this, and then he was seen into the microscope which he was having in that time, very basic type of the microscope he was having, and he was found the different empty honeycomb like structure, and in Latin language cellula is called to the rooms. So when very first he was seen the slide, or he was seen into the microscope, so he was found a very basic part that looked like an empty honeycomb. As we know, the honeycomb is having a structure that is empty room structure like that. So he was found a structure like this. Okay, so this is the structure of the plant cell he was found when he was seen into the microscope, and that is why the cell is called the honeycomb like structure. Okay, so as he was seen into the microscope, he have seen like this structure. Okay student, so this is the first time he saw this kind of the slide, and this is called the empty honeycomb like structure. And in Latin language cellula means cell. Okay, and cellula means room actually it is said. Okay, in Latin language the cellula is used to the room, and that is why he have given the name cell. Like first time we are looking at this slide, so what thing is coming in our mind? Something empty room like structure, something empty honeycomb like structure, and that is why he have given the name cell. So this is the discovery of the cell. Like this he was discovered the cell. Okay student, now let's see what are the basic type of the cells. Like we know that the plant is also having the cells, animals is also having the cells. So let's see, first of all there are different type of the cells, and before that we can say that there are different organisms which is called unicellular or multicellular. So first we will discuss that, then I will show you the structure of the plant and animal cell. So let's see first, that is organisms which is made by only one cell. So what it is called? It is called the unicellular. So let's see first unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms. So what is unicellular organism student? What is mean by the uni? One. Cellular, cell. Okay student, so you must have to be write down the points, note down the points what I am writing over here. This will give you a good collection of your short notes. When you will just revise, you want to revise, you can use this point. So first of all write down what is term unicellular. So unicellular organism is, uni I have told you set to the one, uni means one, cellular cells. So the organism which is made by a one cell or a single cell, that is called the unicellular. Okay, so what is unicellular? Organisms made by or having having one cell or single cell. So the organism which is having only one cell, that is called the unicellular organisms, and with one cell only they can be perform all the functioning, all the life processes whatever they are performing. So they can be perform this all the life process with one single cell only. Like some other are having the multicellular, but this with the one cell they can be do everything, like taking the food inside the body and digesting it, releasing the energy from this, releasing the waste material from it, everything. So the example you can be take, what is an example? Example is amoeba. Amoeba, paramecium, okay, amoeba and paramecium are few examples which is used and which is an example for the unicellular, means one cell. One cell it can be perform all the living things, and there are some bacteria, okay, there are some bacteria, they can be also having a unicellular and bacteria. Okay, so bacteria is also very smaller, and it is very smaller because we cannot be see it by our naked eyes, right? Because I am saying it is a one cell, and cell is a very smaller, very microscopic. So we cannot be seeing this organism with the naked eyes. Can you see the germs? Can you see the bacteria? No, right? Because they are very small. So we are using microscope. So we can be use the microscope to saw the amoeba, paramecium and bacteria. How the amoeba look like? So please draw the diagram of the amoeba, and amoeba is called a unicellular. Okay, amoeba is called a unicellular organism. Okay students, so this is the diagram of amoeba that I have said it is an example of the unicellular organism because it is made by only one cell, right? So with the one cell amoeba can perform all the things. It can be take the food inside the body. So there are the basic thing which is present in the amoeba, it is the pseudopodia. Okay, this one and this another one, these both are called the pseudopodia. This is called the pseudopodia. Okay, what is pseudopodia? The pseudopodia is required, it is also called the false feet. What is meant by the false feet? It is using to capture the food. Okay, when it want the food, it can be take the food inside with the help of this pseudopodia. That is why it is called the false feet also. Okay student, and this is the nucleus. This is having the nucleus. Okay, so these are the some basic thing. It is having the nucleus also. This is called the cytoplasm. So like the basic cell is having this thing, so amoeba is also a unicellular, it is only one cell is there, so it is performing all the functions. So you have to just remember amoeba is an unicellular organism which can be do all the process like capturing the food with the help of the pseudopodia, and when it is captured the food inside, there is an formation of food vacuole will be there. Suppose this food it has taken inside the body, so this will call the food vacuole. It will form the food vacuole. Okay, inside this food vacuole the digestive enzyme will be released, it will digest the food and energy will be released inside the amoeba. So the amoeba will digest the food and it will just spread the energy inside the cytoplasm and it can be take the energy. Remaining waste material will be stopped, will be accumulated in any part of the cell membrane. Suppose here the waste material, it will be suddenly rupture and the waste material will be come out from this cell membrane. So like this all the processes it can be performed by the one cell only. That is why it is called the unicellular organism. Unicell, one cell is a single cell, but with one cell the organism can be perform all the function. That is why it is called the unicellular organisms. Now we will see the multicellular organisms. Okay, so what is the example of the multicellular organisms? The multicellular organism we can be say the plants and animals, okay, or the plants or animals are the example of multicellular. So here I will write the multicellular organisms. Multicellular. Multicellular organisms. So what is mean by the multicellular organism, student? Multi means more than one cellular cell. So when the organism which is made by more than one cell, that is called the multicellular organisms. Okay, and what are the example of the multicellular organisms? Human beings, animals, plants, even we are also, human beings are also the example of the multicellular. We are having millions and the trillions cells in our body. We don't have only one cell. Our body is made by the number of cells. Okay, that is why the example. Multicellular, write down the definition. Please write down the definition, students. Organisms made by or organisms having made or having more than one cell. More than one cell. More than one cell. So they are called the multicellular organisms. Organisms made or they are having more than one cell, they are called multicellular. Like in class we are saying now that student is multi-talented. He can dance, he can sing a song, he can good in a sport. So that is why it is called the multi-talented. So like that, organism which is having more than one cell, it is called the multicellular organisms. Now what are the example of the multicellular organisms I have given? Human beings, plants. So write down the examples. Examples. Plants, animals. Okay. In animals we can be say the human also. We are also humans. Okay. So this is the example of the multicellular organism. Okay student, now we have understood up to now there are organisms which can be made by one cell are called unicellular. Those who are made by more than one cell are called the multicellular organisms. Now, do the plants and animals and other organisms that are made by the same type of the cells? No. We are having different type of the cells in our body. Okay. So first of all, I will show you the structure of the plant cell, structure of the animals and structure of the bacteria. Okay. So just see this diagram. First of all, we will discuss about the plant and then we will discuss about the animal cell. Okay. So this is the diagram I will just want to show you. Look at here. Please concentrate on the diagram, student, and as well as you can also draw the diagram in your notebook. Okay. So this is the cell. It is written over here plant cell. Okay. So there is a different type of the cells are present in animal and different type of the cells are having in plants as well as in bacteria. All not made by the same type of the cell because there are so many differences between the plant and animal. We are moving from one place to another place. Plant are not moving, they are just standing in one place. We require more energy, they does not require more energy. We are heterotroph, we cannot make our own food, they can make their own food by photosynthesis. So for that reason there are so many differences. So first of all see the plant cell. This is the structure of a single plant cell. This is only one cell. Okay. What is outermost layer of the plant cell? This is called the cell wall. You can be see over here. This is written cell wall. Cell wall is the outermost layer of the plant cell, which is made by the cellulose. Cellulose is a tough carbohydrate. It is a very tough carbohydrate which makes give the plant cell rigidity, toughness to just survive in the very harsh environment like sun and like less temperature, high temperature. These all are the very harsh condition. So this is cell wall made by the cellulose is helping to protect them. Afterwards inside there is a cell membrane. After inside the cell wall there is one more membrane and that is called the cell membrane. So you can be see one more line here and that is a cell membrane. You can be see here cell membrane. This cell wall, after the cell wall there is one more line and that is called the cell membrane. Cell membrane, what is the function of the cell membrane? Which is allowing the substances to enter inside the cell, leave from the cell. It is separating the cell organelles from the external environment, protecting the cell organelles inside whatever cell organelles is there. So it is protecting to them. It is semi-permeable, allowing some substances, not allowing to the other substances. So just remember when we are talking about the plant cell, so in the plant cell, remember the thing, plant cell, Basic things in the plant cell you have to be remember: cell wall, which I have told you right now, then cell membrane. Okay, what is the function of cell membrane? I have told you right now. Then we will see this a vacuole. Vacuole is a storage inside the plant. This is called the vacuole. Vacuole is a storage for the solid and liquid substances, starch, glucose, some other fats. They all will be stored inside the vacuole. And vacuoles are central and large vacuoles are present in the plant. Animals are having smaller and more vacuoles are there. Okay, so the plant which is well developed, mature plant which is having a single central and larger vacuoles. Okay. Next you have to be remember about a very important thing, that is called chloroplast. Okay, this is the chloroplast. With the help of the chloroplast only plant can be trapped the solar energy, light energy can be trapped by the chloroplast and can be converted into glucose. So that is why the plant can only make the food by the trapping the sunlight, and that is the plant can do the photosynthesis. Animal cannot be do that because we don't have the chloroplast. Okay, then there is a nucleus. It is a very important part of the cell, that is called the nucleus. Okay, so these are the basic things which are present in the plant cell. Now let's move towards the next type of the cell, that is called the animal cell. Okay, animal cell by name itself you can be understood, that is the animal cell. Okay, so let's see the next diagram or next which I want to show you, that is about the animal cell. So this is the animal cell which is very different from the plant cell. It does not having the cell wall which is present in the plant cell, but it does not having the cell wall. Then the outermost layer is called the cell membrane, which is protecting the cell organelle from the external environment. Okay, then this is the nucleus, a very important part in the animal cell or in any cell. The nucleus is very important because the nucleus is a controlling unit of all the cells. It is taking decisions when cell will multiply and all. Then there is a lysosomes which is digesting part of the cell. Mitochondria, this is called the powerhouse, which is generating energy inside the any cells. Plant are also having, animal is also having. Okay, then the cell membrane, and after that this inside, that is the cytoplasm. All the jelly like structure present inside the cell membrane is called the cytoplasm. So this is the animal cell. Now the different type of the cell, that is having a bacteria. So this is called the bacterial cell. Bacterial cell. Now the bacteria are having the different type of the cell, and their cell specially called the prokaryotic type of the cell. Plant and animals are having the eukaryotic type of the cells, but the bacteria are having a very basic type of the cell, that is called the prokaryotic type of the cells. Okay, the difference is that their nuclear membrane is not well developed. And the animals and plants are having the nuclear membrane well developed. Prokaryotic cell does not having the nuclear membrane well developed, and the genetic material will be given the name nucleoid. It is having the DNA. Okay, this is an outermost layer, that is called cell wall. Bacterial cell is also having the cell wall. Then it is having the plasma membrane inside the cell wall like a plant, and then it is having the cytoplasm. Okay, this is the genetic material called nucleoid. Then for the movement it is having the flagellum, with the help of that it can be moved. Okay, so this is the only, just remember the diagram for the bacterial cell. Okay students, so this is about the cell what we have learned today. We have learned the cell, what is mean by the cell, and what is the functions of the cells. Okay student, then I will ask you some question, that what is a basic unit of the life, what is the basic unit of all the living organism? Yes, cell is a basic unit for all the living organism. Okay students, and there are the different type. How many type of the cells I have seen, I have told you? Yes, plant cell, animal cell, bacterial cell. There are the different type of the cells are there. Give me the one example of the unicellular organism. Yes, amoeba is an example of the unicellular organisms. Tell me one example of the multicellular organisms. Yes, human beings is an example of the multicellular because we are having more than one cell. Okay student, now there is a time for homework. So I will give you some questions, you have to be just write down these questions. Okay, student. So just see over here, these are some questions for your homework. Okay, students. So there are some questions, only 3 questions I am giving you. First question, write and learn the definition of the cell. Definition of the cell you have to be write down what I have already given you. Then distinguish between the unicellular and multicellular organism. You have to write in the comparison. What is unicellular? What is multicellular? Okay, at least 4 to 5 points you have to write down. Then draw a label diagram of the cell. Plant cell, animal cell. Okay, so you have to be draw the diagram as I have shown you. Like that diagram you have to be just draw in your notebook. Okay, student. So this is all about the cell what we have seen up to now. Okay, so today we'll stop over here. Remaining points we'll see in the next lecture. Up to that, take care.